Hello and welcome to this episode of the Guys with Glasses podcast. I am Bandito John, and I have with me No Name Josh and Wise Joey D. Hey guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good. So on this week's episode, we want to talk about the epicness of trying to obtain PAX tickets. I mean, this is crazy. We want to talk about the new Wolfenstein game a little bit. We also want to talk about our thoughts on the open world genre now that Watch Dogs is now out.
Yep.
And what else were we going to talk about, Josh?
That's it, because I know the open world's going to eat up the entire time
Oh,
we're
yeah.
on here.
We are opinion on this.
Yeah. I have a feeling Joey's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Oh no! Do you know what? Before that, John should taunt me and Josh because this
Yes.
is the first time.
Yes. The first time that I have played a Telltale game before you guys.
I know, you suck.
Because usually I'm so behind, and the new Wolf Among Us episode came
Yeah,
out.
people
And I played
know
it.
the date.
I played it and beat it day one, and I was like, "Oh, I'm all excited to talk to you guys about it today." Neither of you guys have it yet.
No.
Can I just say, I like there's extenuating circumstances because bizarrely, they've like ruled that in Europe we have to wait to the 4th of June for to arrive on PlayStation.
Why
Only
was it in
PlayStation.
English?
You guys made it against the law.
I know. It's like it's weird as too. It's because I think it's retaliation for the bearded woman winning Eurovision. I think it's something.
Yeah. So okay. I saw that. I saw clips of that. That was crazy.
Did you-
That was interesting. Yeah, they were talking about
Yes.
it, like on our news, and I was like, "Yeah, good for them." But it was like, it was
Yeah,
kind of-
you're like,
it was
what's happening in Europe?
yeah, kind of. Is this person like a big pop star or something? Like I've never.
No, it was so bizarre. Actually, it was so bizarre. Ladies and gentlemen, just search for bearded lady Conchita Wurst on YouTube. And judge and enjoy. That's all I'm saying.
It was interesting.
Bearded lady, actually happening.
That's just weird.
But yeah, no. But Wolf Among Us, both John, I salute you because
Thank you, good sir.
you've
Appreciate
beaten
it.
I know,
us.
you've finally
us.
beaten us. It's just
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, and I want to talk about it, but I will refrain until next week.
When Joey finally gets the ability to, play
Yes,
it.
when
Yeah.
In his communist nation.
I know. Yeah. It's like, as it makes it across the iron wall, the iron of digitalness. It's like Jesus Christ. But yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about PAX tickets. That was kind of in our
That was
world.
nuts.
Kind of crazy. So, me and Josh live in the Seattle area, and we try to go to PAX every year. Joey has fortunately been able to join us for 1 year to be able to get PAX tickets. And the year that Joey actually came to PAX, we were only able to get a single day pass, which was just nuts. And every year it just gets worse and worse and worse. And
Indeed it does.
oh god, yeah. So the only way to find out when the tickets go on sale is to follow it on their Twitter feed. That's the only place they announce it, and it's random. I mean, there's kind of a rough window. We knew that it was going to happen after PAX East, which is like a month ago. We could take a guess that sometimes it happens on Wednesdays, but that's not always the case. And they first announced on their PAX Twitter feed. And me and Josh we were like hunting and waiting for this Twitter feed to just kick off and go. And I mean, PAX is the only one that I follow on Twitter. So this is like, I was kind of actually, no joke. I got a smartwatch that tells me my text messages. So this has less time delay. So that way I didn't have to like bring out my phone. So I could just like look at my wrist, know that it was Twitter, and go buy tickets. Yeah. So it was nuts. And they've had a couple of false alarms. They said like,
Oh, I know.
like they've had a couple announcements being like, oh, tickets are gonna go on sale soon. And I'm like, oh, you bastards! Like I dropped everything because I
Just
saw,
had a
like-
heart attack.
Yeah, because I saw it go up. Yeah. Yeah. My coworker who was also interested in going, he was actually like carrying a box, and he heard his phone have that kind of distinctive like Twitter alarm go off, and he dropped the box and started running to try to go get tickets. And it was just a false alarm. I mean, they just announced it on sale, so I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
That's amazing.
But tickets went on sale this week, and it was mayhem.
Yeah.
Josh, so what was kind of your pre-game plan with that?
Thank God I was awake. Like, I had literally just gotten out of bed because I didn't have class that morning, so I was like, screw it. I'm going to sleep in today. And I just had gotten up, and I was on my phone checking when PAX tickets, if they had updated the site before announcing it. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, hopefully they accidentally screwed it up, and I'm going to be able to buy early. but it didn't. And I'm walking into the office, and it goes boop, and I'm like, oh shit! And I turn on the computer. I hit refresh on the page on my
You
phone.
already had the page like pre-up on your phone.
Yeah, and it went down. It says, sorry, PAX site is down right now. Please try again. I'm like, no! And so I'm like logging into my Kindle and my and my Surface. I'm like, please let me get in line. I was on within like 12 seconds and didn't get a 4-day pass.
Yeah, so the 4-day pass is sold out in less in a matter of just a couple of seconds. I mean, it was just insane.
How?
I don't know.
I think they've been selling them to like other groups beforehand. I know, conspiracy theorists.
This is Josh's conspiracy theory, yeah.
But they did get in trouble recently for selling them early to somebody. Or not really in trouble, but people bitched. So,
It's Cassie.
oh, yeah, Cassie's in the other room yelling at me. But anyway, like, I feel like they probably sell to, like, say, Microsoft and Valve and those guys, like, oh, if you want to buy them for your friends and family, go ahead early, or for workers that aren't going to be able to be media, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I mean, the thing is, with selling less 4-day passes, a lot of people, when they get a 4-day pass, they don't necessarily go all day, every day. And when you get the individual day passes, in theory, you can let more people go because you're getting passes for, like, for the days that you're going to attend. But what a lot of people do is they end up just buying passes for each day, individual day passes, which is what me and Josh ended up doing. Yeah, so like when the tickets went on sale, I was at work and I saw it and I did like a double glance. I was like, what? Wait, what? Oh no, false alarm! Go! This is not a drill. Come right alert, and so I immediately get in. I got in within about 20 seconds, and I'm in a queue, and it's like this static web page, and you're like, oh my god, is this broken? And there's all these warning messages saying like, the site
Do
is
not
broken.
refresh.
Yeah, do not refresh. The site is fine, but it totally looks like nothing's happening. And I had a Facebook thread going with some friends that were interested in attending, and that way we could all be notified kind of at once. And I go, as soon as I'm in the queue, I go to the thread, and so now it's about maybe 30 or 45 seconds after tickets went on sale, and I go, the tickets are available. And there was a few people that were like, some of my friends that were like in meetings or weren't able to get on and try to get tickets within a couple minutes later, and they actually were not able to get tickets. So tickets sold out within about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was freaking ridiculous, dude. I was like
nuts.
so upset because Robert was at work and he did the same thing. He dropped his stuff and ran for the toilet, like, because it's the only place that he can take a break, you know, like. So he like ran to the bathroom
today.
and he calls me, or he texts me, dude, I just got tickets. Do you want any? And I'm like, how the fuck did you get in like 10 minutes late? Like, that's ridiculous. It happened last year too. He was the only one able to get his tickets.
He's got a hack's phone or something. He's got. That is not the norm, because I had some friends that were trying to get tickets within about 5 minutes, and they were not able to get either the days that they wanted or it was sold out.
I think the mobile stuff worked a lot better because my Kindle went through way before my computer did. So
that's interesting.
And Cassie's phone, I think she went into the queue. I can't remember.
You know, I mean, it was just nuts, but all that matters is that I was able to get tickets. Josh, you were able to get tickets, and so I'm a happy camper. People were trying to sell them on eBay.
They're already selling them. It's $370, I think, or $50 for a set of 4 days.
So $350 when it should normally be about 120, I think.
No, 140.
140 for 40 passes. So people are selling them for like 3 times the price.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's nuts. It's crazy.
Is there no way to stop that, or did they not let that happen, or?
So eBay has policies, and Washington State has laws that you're not supposed to scalp and resell tickets unless you have them in hand. And people do not get the tickets until like a couple weeks before the convention.
Yeah.
And they mail them out to people.
And by then, nobody can buy them. Or no one wants to buy them.
Yeah, because generally the people that have wanted to pay the premium got them already. So, eBay's been taking down the auctions, but some people are doing auctions that just last, like, I don't know, half a day or whatever, and they've been slipping by. So there's Craigslist too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to end up doing that as the Craigslist way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
eBay won't let them. I don't know why they don't let you sell them early anyway. They did for the last, like, 5 years, and just this year they're like, meh, we're going to finally enforce some law from a million years ago.
A lot of people complaining. I don't know, man. I mean, Joey, have you ever been in a situation trying to get tickets like this before?
No, I think I have once, but I can't remember it now. But no, I know that the refresh thing. That, oh my god, have I got the right version of the browser? Is
Oh, that was the other thing. It said
Yeah,
if you have this browser, it's not going to work, basically.
Yeah, if you had like ad block on, like some people were
Yeah.
having issues
Oh,
and
shit.
stuff. So I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. It was a nightmare.
I hear like San Diego Comic Con is also kind of crazy. I mean, what's interesting is that when I first went to PAX, like I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, I was able to buy tickets like a 4-day pass, like 4 or 5 months after them going on sale. Like it was no problem. Like it was totally fine. And now, I mean, you can't even get a 4-day pass, and you get in within 15 seconds, like in Josh's case.
Jeez.
So
It was ridiculous. I am like shocked. I went the year after you, and I bought my passes 4 months after they had gone on sale, and I bought a 3-day pass. It was like,
yeah, it just gets like worse and worse, you know. And I mean, because they only announce on the Twitter feed, there's like tens of thousands of people that are just following their Twitter feed just to kind of get these updates. And I mean, like, oh god, I mean, I had to fight for it this year. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen next year, you know.
God, all I can do is cross my fingers that I get media passes, man. Oh, be the greatest
That's the
day
goal.
ever.
That's
Holy crap, if you are a YouTube person and you want to sign up for media, if you just have YouTube, you have to have a minimum of 50,000 subscribers to even be considered.
Whoa.
wow.
Yeah.
They don't mess around.
Wow.
They do not mess around. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
You have to be popular.
Mm-hmm.
Well, changing the subjects now that we can wipe our brows now that PAX tickets have been obtained.
Congratulations, guys.
Let us get on our soapboxes and chat about open world games and our thoughts on this. So Joey, you had some opinions on this. Why don't you kick us off?
Oh no, no! Don't. I'm the berserker you bring out after the first wave of arguments.
Well, I can start it if you want. I can start it.
Yes, point me in the, yes, let's set the scene. Josh.
All right. So Joey's upset because he thought that Watch Dogs was going to be a well-scripted, fairly linear, I assume, game. And he found out it was open world. He was disappointed in it because then it's just going to be whatever. And I kind of agree with him in this sense. I do not like open world games because they don't make anything time sensitive. It's the thing that bothered me always about Mass Effect. It's like, we need to save the universe, but do whatever you want in between.
Yeah.
You know, they make it seem like, oh god,
you're
we
going
have to
shopping
do
for
it.
some new clothes. Oh yeah, just do this. Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Side quest, yeah.
And I think like more games need to utilize like time sensitiveness. Like that has just completely gone out of gaming, and it ruins like that sense of urgency you feel. Like,
Well, I mean, on that point, like, let's talk about like, the original Mario Brothers. You know, where you have like 300 seconds to beat the level. Is that
Oh yeah.
a good idea or is that a bad idea?
for this game, it's bad, right? But I mean, like, say it says, okay, you have to stop this car chase.
Yeah.
Then you either have to stop that car chase now, or if you just want to let it go, then whatever.
Yeah.
But that car chase might involve like your buddies, and you might get screwed if they get locked up or something. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You want consequences.
I want consequences to
Yeah.
you not acting.
Yeah.
Because instead of it's like there's kind of like this sort of thing of throwing like to children, like throwing all these like, oh look, there's this yellow brick, there's this red brick, you can play with this green brick, there's a blue brick, there's all these, oh my god, look, you fall anything you want in any order, oh yay, but there's like no consequences, no bell is gonna ring and that's it, over, playtime's over, just keeps and like Josh was saying, you know, actually they pointed out that, you know, you can have like an urgent thing like, okay, gotta hack this.
Yeah.
But then you can run along and like there's like a little like on the map there's whoa, John, you're like someone in witness protection.
There it goes. There it
You went
goes.
all like that was amazing. I was like
I don't know.
like
What
so
happened.
you went all like anonymous. Like,
Yeah, it was like one of those TV shows where it's got like the voice thing
yeah,
different.
it's
It's
like,
like,
like That's amazing. That's when you can like can confess something about Microsoft. But basically, it's there's like the Microsoft confession corner. But basically, yes, basically, you can urgent story. Oh, but, oh look, but there's a flashy thing on the map here to do this little side mission. Yay! And you're like, oh what? Sorry. Okay, Mike, John, your thoughts? I don't want to go on it. I was gonna go on like
No,
a momentum there. And just rant.
I enjoyed the soapbox. You know, I find open world games to be sometimes kind of boring. Like I like kind of the scriptedness of, kind of like the classic Call of Duties. That kind of said that like exciting things happen when you're starting to trigger certain events. And you're right. I don't like a Mario timed game, where I feel like there's a sense of urgency. It's actually one of the reasons why I never played Majora's Mask, or I don't like the original Pikmin, because those had timers, And in some cases, like I do kind of want to take my time and enjoy something, but talking about like a Halo or something, it's like you're not timed, but there is a sense of urgency, in getting this done, and you have an objective and try to complete it,
The level you have to do it, and you can't just mess around forever because you've got a finite source of health. Actually, you know what? This is funny because this is becoming an ever increasing. Well, you know me, an ever increasing fractal sort of conversation. Basically, recently, actually last week, my friend was playing Skies of Arcadia on the Dreamcast, and I remember as being a jovial little little Japanese RPG set in the skies, and it's turn based. It's like Final Fantasy, right? Oh my god. Oh my god. It was hard. Like this was old school. Hard. Like we were saying there. I mean, my no mercy. My friend hasn't even played like modern games, so he's still like he hasn't seen regenerative health, downloadable content.
Oh really? He just like refuses to play like new games.
No,
like,
the last console he's bought and played is Dreamcast, and it's
what?
just like
that's insanity.
It's
this guy's kind of missing out. I mean, those are some good games, but
I know, but that's the thing. Like, no, I think to be fair, in a way, he's like perfect bubble time travel, trapped in a bubble universe where you have of Dreamcast.
He would fit right in Portland. The 90s are alive in Portland. He should like.
He should be yes. the 90s are alive in Belfast. So it's like he's mad about his stuff, and that's good. I think to be fair. You know what? It's fine. But we played it, and he played. I was watching. Oh my god, dude! There was no regenerative health. The first bloody boss. If anyone remembers Guys of Arcadia, it's this like Valua. You're rescuing your father from a thing. Die again. Die. And like there was no like a shop to go and buy things, or let's pay money and get the crystals to regenerate.
Did you have to grind? I mean, is this grinding?
Oh
hard?
my god! Like people are dying. So basically, right, hard as shit, and then. This ties in with Watch Dogs and stuff like this because, it's just like it is just too forgiving now. And this whole nonsense of, it's not a game. It's a Me Too money making exercise. So it's like it's a bit like the way, flipping Warner Brothers see Marvel and they're making now Batman versus Superman and this fucking Sinister Six. Sony's doing Sinister Six.
This is like a cash cow. I mean, do you think that this is kind of like milking?
When you see it's movie studios doing it, game studios or publishers are doing it. They see they see the Marvels and the GTAs of the world, and they're like, we want that. We want some of that, and £5 billion, please, of $5 billion.
You raised a good point. I was reading this article that said that for medium-sized publishers, okay, so they have like indie publishers. Like you're in your garage, you're with a couple friends, or you might have like. Let's say 10 or less, people employed working on this game, and they can sell a game for a couple bucks, or they can make an app, and it can be lucrative for them, depending upon the sales. While you have like the AAA games, like the Halos, the Watch Dogs kind of thing, those are AAA games and they charge $60, and there's an expectation that games that are $60, that they're epic feeling, that they're large, that they're grandiose, that they're like the Assassin's Creed, to some people, maybe not to us, because we understand the industry and we play a lot more games maybe than the average person. But the problem is with these medium-sized developers is that they're kind of stuck in this middle. Like they have to they charge $60, to try to make a profit on their game, and they know they're not going to sell as many as the Watch Dogs, but they don't have the resources to make a grand game like that, So a lot of times something can kind of feel like half-baked,
Well, I don't know if it's because,
Well, this is a AAA title, let's be honest. This was
This
made
is.
by
This is.
Ubisoft.
But
And
what my point is, do you think that customers had an expectation that this was going to be an open world epic game? I mean, do you think they would have been
yeah,
upset if it wasn't?
well, so I knew it was going to be open world because last year at PAX we watched them play that, and
Yeah.
it was very open world. But I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to work. Like, maybe I don't know, maybe if you played the storyline and then you got to kind of wander around and do stuff. I assume the multiplayer would be open world and the single player would be scripted. Or at least be more scripted than it seems to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like, yeah, Josh, yeah. I thought that. And then I saw the stuff and immediately heart sank because the amazing little... And you can still find on YouTube the gameplay trailer. You know, the one where he gets into the club and he's talks to the guy and all that sort of stuff, and the car crash outside, explosion, rides away. That was like, oh wow. That was like Perfect Dark, or it made me think of Perfect Dark, kind of like not on rails, but kind of on rails. Like it heavily scripted, Uncharted style stuff. You know, Uncharted and Last of Us style. And then it kind of was like that. I thought that was brilliant. That'll be brilliant. It works so well. And then I saw the actual gameplay. Was like, you're gonna get to drive around, and this is where my soapbox. I kind of step from one soapbox to another soapbox, and that if this is an AAA title, but it's not meant to be next gen. It's also in the old ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on both, yeah.
I wouldn't call it a next gen title. It doesn't look like it.
No, and that's the thing. Like, it acts like an old one. The people, you drive your bike and people immediately go ah! And like, you know, run away.
Yeah.
And it's basic, like, you know, oh my god, and then, you know, it's not like GTA where apparently if some people, if you point your gun at some people are like, ah, and run away, and some people are just like, fuck you, and just and actually
some
get up
people
in
will
the face.
shoot back at you.
Yeah,
If you pointed at a gang member, they'll get in a gunfight with you.
That's amazing. That's the thing. Like, you know, for all this talk of AAA and the next gen, and I'm sure they could have copied some of the code from that or whatever. No, it's just you know, and crappy. I saw the Conan thing where he's like driving his bike, he crashes and stuff, and it's just like, it's like fucking Dreamcast, like in Dreamcast level of like, as Headhunters had like an open kind of, you could drive in streets. There was a game called Headhunters, and when you smash your bike and stuff, it would just be like. Like, right, that okay, so where's the broken bones?
So do you guys think Watch Dogs bit off more than it could chew?
No. What
No,
I
because
think
it plays 6
happened
months
was
extension.
I
That's
think
true.
they came
That's
up
true.
with an idea and they started to execute it, and someone went, no, that's not how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to move this scope out. People, like, they see GTA and they go, we have to sell a game like that.
Yeah.
Because that was the last, like, huge hit, I think. I mean, at least
Open
critically
world.
acclaimed.
Pretty
Because,
good game, yeah.
what do you call it? Modern Warfare came out, and it was, like, met with kind of But GTA 5 was, like, met with this, like, huge, like, yay! And so I think somebody went, we need to make this more open world. Let's change it. And by the time they decide that, that's, you know, you have to delay the game, and then you can't get everything in that you want. So then it gets kind of half jank.
So we haven't had a chance to play Watch Dogs yet, but do you guys think that this is a GTA killer or not?
No. Nick played it, and I talked to him about it, because I said I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, because it wasn't getting very good user reviews.
Yeah.
And he said it was pretty fun. He especially liked, like, the hacking stuff and walking around and, like, you can scan people, and he's like, it gives out weird readouts like HIV positive or
Yeah, I saw,
stuff like that. It's just so weird. I was like, that is strange. He's like, but it's pretty cool, like, just because you can do so much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
he just said that it's not what he thought it was going to be.
There you go.
But
I think also that.
this is why I picked up Wolfenstein, actually.
Oh, good transition, Josh.
Yeah, I'm going to go right into this because it's probably one of the better games I've played in a long time. Everybody bitched about the first level being like, oh, it's boring and lackluster, and the story's not that interesting. But I thought it's a good shooter level. I don't know what they were expecting from it.
So Wolfenstein's like this classic series, but did they reboot the franchise with this game? I mean, it's kind of been off my radar. But,
So, not really. It's more of like, a continuation. Well, I guess it's kind of ignoring the last game that sucked, and going forward, it's awesome. I don't know what else to say about it. Like the alternate history stuff, I feel like they put a lot of work into it.
You as a history buff, is it interesting? Is it?
It's funny because, like, so at first, like, Japan helps conquer China, and instead of America getting the nuke, Germany does, and that's how it gets America to surrender, which is, and it talks about it, you know, it's like Americans on their knees, you know, and it talks about, it's like basically the reverse, like, the Americans are like, I can't believe that they dropped the bomb on us and stuff. It's the exact same stuff that was said, like, from the Japanese side, like.
So the Axis wins instead of the Allies, and
yeah, it's 1960, and Nazis have taken over the world. They even make Japan surrender. They're like in one article, like a couple weeks before, you can read, and it's like, our friends in Japan have helped us conquer China and yada yada yada, and then like 2 weeks later in the paper, Japan surrenders to the supreme race. You know, it's just like, it's amazing because...
I mean, are you killing, like, zombie Nazis and stuff?
No. So they changed that. It's, like, all mech. Like, people are, like, meshed with... Well, I guess they're more like cyborgs, but they're, like, huge behemoths. And they have these Wunderhounds that are a fucking nightmare.
It sounds like I want to name my dog that.
Yeah,
like, my little white lapdog poodle. I'm gonna name like the Bunderhams.
But they like, it's so funny because they talk about it. They're like, the Russians are, you know, fighting us off in this cold winter, but it doesn't matter. The Wunderhound will tear them limb from limb. And you meet one like the instant you touch the beach, or two of them, and they're like the size of my apartment. But they're like huge dog figures with like monster-sized jaws on them, and you have to take them down with this mega huge gun. You can't kill them.
So
regularly.
Is the game just like overall just like pretty fun? I mean, does it kind of like lighthearted in terms of like? I mean, does it do things that just try to be, you know, cool, like big ass guns, you know, kind of thing? And
no, it's more. It's what Joey wants. Heavily scripted, first of all. But secondly, it's...
His face just perked up.
Hold on a second. Sorry.
Heavily scripted, yes.
Anyway, heavily scripted, and so if people complained, like, oh, there's these little fetch missions in between, like, the big major missions, like, go find me a welder, and then you go find the guy, and he's like, oh, I dropped it down there, go get it, and then you go down there, and there's a bunch of bad guys.
I hate fetch quests, though.
But... it doesn't really bother me, because it's not often enough to, like, piss you off. It's just, like, here and there. And some of it's kind of, like...
Some of us kind of just seem like they're filler, you know?
Yeah, but you get to know, like, some of the characters that you're working with by doing it.
Oh, okay.
There is some fucked up stuff that happens in that game, though. You have to choose between two people. You have to choose
they actually make you choose
between this young guy and this older dude, and the guy's like, ooh, they have very pretty eyes. I wouldn't mind taking them for myself or something, and you have to choose which one dies and which one lives, and so
creepy one, of course.
Yeah,
I chose the younger guy to survive, and they kill the older guy, and then you run into the younger guy, like, way later on in the story, and he fucking hates you. He's like, why did you save me? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and now I command this whole resistance, and everybody's dying, and I'm like, oh god. And
that's some heavy stuff for a Wolfenstein game.
It's... yeah. There's a disgusting part. I'm just going to say that's a spoiler, but later on you get into the one of the prison camps. It's like Auschwitz style camp. You have to break in and save somebody. And you're supposed to get executed because they find out you're an American. Because you electrocute yourself trying to get a battery to take over this robot. Anyway, so you wake up and they're about to kill you, and you get the battery to the guy with the little remote, or like the thing that turns them against their own people. So he turns it on, and it grabs this lady she's like evil anyway, but by her face, and then like kind of crunches it, and then throws her down, and then like kills the remainder of the bad guys that are around. But then like as he's killing them, she like crawls up on you in front of you, and her jaw's like crushed on one side, and all of her teeth are missing.
Oh,
and
rowdy.
I'm just like, oh god, get off of me! And she's like, no one leaves my camp. And you know, she's like about to kill me, and then the robot grabs her again and like chucks her into a tree. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's that. How about that, bitch? And then you get on the thing and you fight your way out, and right as you're about to leave, that bitch is back, and she like mows down a bunch of the dudes you're about to save. I was like, oh, motherfucker, run her over!
You know, it's interesting. I wonder, like, I heard some things about the game that, like, in Germany, they can't have swastikas.
Oh, yeah.
Germany or
They can't
Australia.
Yeah, or Australia, yeah. So, like, they changed the symbols and stuff. I wonder what else they changed in the game. But, like...
Smiley faces.
Yeah.
Well, it's they change it to the
Wonderful.
Iron Eagle, is what they do.
Oh.
So, I mean, Joey, you live in Northern Ireland.
Yep.
Are your games ever edited, or do you get, like, the same ones that are...
What's this German thing? I don't think it's as bad as Germany. Actually, it's funny. My friend was mentioning today. In Germany, every game has to be changed so that you're never shooting human characters. There's always are robots or something.
Do they
Make
just,
it-
like, reskin the characters, you know?
I
Like-
think so.
I
yeah,
assume
like,
so.
It's just bizarre. You know, it's crazy. But
I think
Well,
it's
that's
funny
Germany,
that
like,
they're
I
like-
would want to import it, but I don't know if that's against the law to, like, import the
No, I know, right? No, actually, it's fine because it's Europe, so you can buy it on eBay and have it shipped anywhere in Europe. So you could actually, yeah, that's weird. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Sucks,
I remember
yeah.
with the last Wolfenstein, it was a huge deal because somebody found 2 swastikas hanging from banners
But
in
they
the
forgot to
background.
remove it, right? I think. was
Well, I know they're supposed to, but they forgot to. They just didn't happen to see it or whatever.
yeah.
And like they made a huge deal about it. I'm like, whoop-de-doo. They tried to remove all of them, and they forgot 2 tiny
Yeah.
ones in the
Yeah.
background. You know, I don't know. To me, people make a big deal about it, and I'm like, why are you doing that, Germany? Are you trying to forget your like? I don't know.
Worried that worried that it'll glamorize it or something, you know, or
Yeah.
something. Even
I
though
don't think so because. Like you watch it and you're like, oh my god, these are horrible fucking people. Like, I've never played a Wolfenstein game and gone, man, the Nazis are cool.
Yeah, it's
Like-
not. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said, hey man, the Nazis are pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I know. There's yeah, no, definitely not a recruitment film for the what do they call themselves? The Republican Socialist Party.
The National Workers Party or whatever the hell.
I was just thinking of what's that one American game that tried to like get people interested in joining the army?
Oh yeah.
I think I remember that one.
America's Army.
Yep.
That was the name of the game.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, and you could download it and it was free, and it was a pretty decent game, and like you trained on like how to be a soldier and stuff, you know, and it was meant to like entice, like it was kind of like propaganda a little bit, like try to get like teenagers interested in like
look
joining the
how fun
army.
it is.
Yeah, I was just imagining like that with like Nazis, you know, like oh
Yeah.
join us and interact with the
It-
Wunderdog, you know.
I know, yeah. you get a Wunderdog. You get a Wunderdog. Everyone gets Wunderdog.
Yeah.
Cassie was all sad because like right off the bat I had to kill a dog. She's like, oh.
Oh.
But
Have
I'm like, that isn't a real dog. It's got metal teeth and shit.
Have you guys watched that Bates Motel?
No, but it's creepy.
So, yeah, so basically it's like the prequel story to like the movie Psycho. It's a TV show and stuff. Anyway, it's fun. It's and yeah, it's when I say
It's
fun, I
fun?
mean, it's like it's a creepy show. It's fun to watch. It's weird. Anyway, you know, all sorts of people are like dying and stuff, and like you feel bad for them and everything. And then in a scene, there's a dog that dies, and I was like more sad by anything. Like,
Yeah.
oh, dog.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. Wolfenstein, I think, Joey, I think you'd really like it. It's a lot of fun.
it doesn't
And-
sound very good.
The story is just interesting. There's some weird parts in there where they went like, hey, let's go Game of Thrones Season 1. Let's just randomly have somebody banging somebody out of nowhere.
That's weird.
It's strange because it just
I
seems
think-
so shoehorned in there, like instead
I think
of...
sex scenes in games is always kind of awkward.
You have to program. Can you
agree.
imagine? It's like programming. You know, it's like
Yeah.
okay,
I don't
Oh,
like
yeah,
it,
baby.
It's just
thrust,
weird.
open
Yeah,
brackets
thrust, yeah.
+1 thrust.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God of War kind of did it, but they were kind of making fun of
Oh,
it. They
yeah.
like
Oh,
the little
yeah.
mini games and stuff. And I always thought those are kind of weird, and I thought they were childish, for catering towards like a,
Well,
mixing
I
up-
mean,
right.
this
It's
it's horrible, but at the same time, it's kind of like I think they're trying to be like, even in this shitty situation, you have to find, something good. I guess it's kind of like Glenn and Maggie situation, like.
But I feel like in those type of things, it's like sometimes they do like the tasteful like fade to black,
Yeah, that would be fine with me.
and that would be fine, whatever. But when they have like, digital animations and stuff, I think it's kind of awkward.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's how we know it's that's just your test then for next gen. If they accurately model scrotal physics, then it's like or breast physics, or
Oh
just
my
stretch
God.
marks. Basically, it's like, oh look, and now the game will remember when you get stretch marks. Yay!
Yeah, you get
that's
like
the
when
next
you
gen.
got
Imagine
fat
like 4K
in
gaming, and they're like, yes,
Oh my God.
now in 60 frames per second.
Okay, that would be amazing. That would be
That's
amazing.
like that's the writing on the box.
Now it's 60 frames a second.
Oh my god, no, I've got a horrible. It's like so real. Oh no, I couldn't do it. That's just really wrong. I was gonna say so real that you feel like putting a towel under the TV. I apologize. That's
So
just
real,
how
you
creepy.
will-
So real, keep the Kleenex and lotion at hand.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
It just sells itself. It just sells itself. It's Xbox coming to Xbox One and PS4 next summer. Oh my god! Can you imagine downloading that update?
Oh man, I'm just imagining like them showing that like an E3 press conference, like a room
Yeah.
full of like journalists, and they're like, oh man, this can already be kind of awkward, that would just kick it up a notch. Oh, man.
Yeah, you got like
Uh.
hundreds of people sitting in an auditorium, like, oh my god, what the?
And they do that you know, a really awkward moment where they always kind of go like they turn to the room, yeah, isn't that good? And, like there's a smattering of applause and
Yeah.
they're like, okay.
Or just some awkward silence, like everyone's
Yeah.
like,
In that case, there'd be like a weird groan. I don't
Yeah, I know,
know
yeah.
what.
Yeah, you see some people, and then you see some people always bashing away in their blog. Yes, this is the best thing ever.
They're running just like that with like.
Yeah, T-Rex hands.
So guys, on that note,
God.
what do you think we're gonna see at E3?
Oh, jeez, we're going into E3. All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
Shenmue 3. Apparently
yeah.
Shenmue 3.
Yeah, E3's coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But Shenmue 3 apparently for the Xbox. Did you hear about this?
What?
What?
I sound like that person from South Park. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, they have a press conference. We already know that.
Yeah.
No, but Shenmue 3 is apparently an Xbox is going to come out as an Xbox
Shenmue 3?
exclusive. Yeah. Apparently.
I didn't see. There's rumors going around of Shenmue 3.
Yeah, coming out on the Xbox.
That's
And they're
crazy.
Doing, what's it? The other exclusive.
You're a
one?
huge Shenmue fan, aren't you, Joey?
I am,
Yeah.
but it's amazing. But like, I'm also like, no, don't limit it to Xbox. No.
You're gonna have
Like,
to get an Xbox One. Is the answer?
I know. No. The friend who stopped with the Dreamcast, I'm getting him to get an Xbox One. And I'll be like, oh, hey, this come do what you have. It's like,
We should interview him, guys. Because I think he would be fascinating to like. He's holding like an Xbox One controller for the first time and like using the
Yeah.
dashboard.
Yeah.
And, like,
You need to record his reactions.
oh yeah, no, you definitely. It's amazing. I think that like, and
or be like,
on-
meh.
yeah, no, that's the
Like,
thing. He'll be very like,
That's
"Oh,
that's better.
where's the VMU? And honestly, to be fair, I even ask, where's the VMU? Where's
I
my
missed the
freaking-
VMU. That was a beautiful piece of hardware.
Okay, so John, speaking of that, do you like the Wii U controller, the way that that's set up? Because it's kind of like a VMU, except for like a way updated, awesome version.
So
Because I mean, you got that big screen in the middle, and you can. Play
I'm gonna
with it.
say it gets the job done. I'll deal with it, but I still prefer a normal controller.
Yeah, well, was it a lot more comfortable than you thought it was going to be?
Actually, it was less comfortable than I thought it was going to be.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Every time I
Yeah.
saw it, I went, "That's gonna be the most uncomfortable thing in the world." And now that I have one, I'm like, "Wow, this is way more comfortable than I thought."
That's not to say that it was bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But I think maybe I'm alone in this thought, but I think the GameCube controller is the best controller ever made. I think it is the most
I don't think
comfortable
ever
controller.
made, but definitely by Nintendo.
I think it's better. I think it's more comfortable than any other controller I've ever used.
You're so wrong. The 360
I'm so
gamepad
right. I think
is
that was, like,
amazing.
I think it was smartly designed with having like an A button be big, the shoulder buttons work. I have small
Yeah.
hands, so this is just my personal thoughts. But
I like the 360 controller. Other than its D-pad, it's basically flawless.
360 controllers, it's good. It's good.
It's so comfortable. Either that or my hands have just warped to fit it now.
I am super excited they're bringing back GameCube controller support for Smash Brothers on Wii U.
Oh, that's right.
I know.
They're
You
supporting
know
the
what's really
Nintendo
dumb
controller.
is how much
Yeah.
that fucking thing costs.
How much is it?
What?
For the
They
adapter?
said it was 25, I think.
Yeah, that's the Nintendo tax.
Yeah.
You know, there's the Apple tax.
Yeah.
This is the Nintendo tax where you pay $25 for a piece of equipment that costs $2 to make.
Well, what they should do is just have included it into Smash Bros.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah. Good old days of
Yeah.
hardware and software together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have got me to buy it a lot faster.
Joey,
'cause-
what's your favorite controller ever made?
Oh.
Don't say anything PlayStation, because they're all bad.
Yeah.
No,
but-
I actually, not the best. I do prefer it over the Xbox One, but apart from that,
What? What? Oh
yes.
no, me and Josh.
I know,
totally
yes,
disagree.
I know. This is-
PS3 is better than the Xbox One
This is-
controller.
You need to be
This is-
slapped right in the
this is where
face.
It's like this is where you mail a slap in the post.
Exactly.
Like, I send one.
A
slap.
cartoon glow comes out and like.
But, like it's like a no. Maybe that's the American / European difference. But my best one, I would actually say just for nostalgia and just because.
And if you say Dreamcast, I'll slap you.
N64.
Okay.
Because of its cool, like the multi-prong.
No, I think it's
Something-
My
it's
wife
maybe
thought-
one of the worst controllers I've ever played on.
What? It was
Yeah.
so brilliant the way it was like. Da, 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 da,
No.
da.
You'd wear a hole in your hand anytime you were playing Mario
Did
Party.
you have like that dead,
Oh, yeah,
dead
the,
zone,
like,
you know, where like
Yeah.
the joystick would be all like blah blah blah, you know. All
And it would slowly get worse as time went on. Like that joystick by the end would just be like,
You know, I mean, it was comfortable, but it had a totally useless D-pad.
yeah.
You know? It's
yeah.
like-
It was just such a pain in the ass to play like a game that was like ported
But
over from the Sega.
You know, to Joey's point, I think the first time I held a Nintendo 64 controller was like the most mind-blowing control I've ever held. I've never really felt that way again. I felt like this is the future of controllers.
Joystick,
So
yeah,
I will agree with you there that I was like, this is the weirdest controller I've ever held, and I would still say that it's probably, you know, I think the most uncomfortable controller I've ever played with though is the Xbox original. The
Duke?
big fat one, yeah, Duke. Yeah.
Duke.
Before
Joey,
the
have you ever used one of
Sidewinder
those?
one happened. Oh man.
I've seen them. I think they were only sold in America, weren't they? They're huge.
They were
They were like-
giant.
They're like a hamburger.
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
doesn't
And then eventually they swapped it out with the Japanese version of the smaller controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when I got an Xbox. But yeah, that
We
original
had-
controller was so bad.
We
It was
had
so
three
bad.
small ones and one big one, and it was like a fight to not get the big one. You were like, I'm in a total handicap playing Halo if I have this big ass controller, you know?
Joey, did you ever do that with your brothers of like who gets like this shitty third party controller?
Yeah, like it was yes. Like I for some reason I always insist on getting the grey one. That's so boring. Like we had a red one.
The gray 64 controller?
The grey, yeah, and there was like a see-through one. I always wanted the grey one.
see-through purple. That was my jam.
Yes, that was amazing. Yes.
That's what I like.
Yes. This
Do you have
is
your
the
purple
anymore.
things on your glasses right now?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I like purple.
That's awesome.
Purple's fine with me. It's a royal color, sir. That's
It
all you
is.
gotta tell
It
people.
It is.
They need to bring back see-through electronics. I still
Yes,
love
they
it.
do. Yeah,
I have a see-through controller.
yeah.
Xbox
For which?
One?
No, an Xbox 360.
Oh,
Oh wow, that's
Oops,
cool.
let's
Though.
see.
That's cool. What the hell?
I need some more see-through stuff.
I
This
know.
needs to make a comeback.
I know, right?
Because I love seeing inside shit. That's also, because of the VMU and the Dreamcast controller. Like that was an okay controller actually. I loved those.
It was pretty good. The
The
triggers.
thingies. I loved because
Springy?
the springs. Like it was just like
Yeah.
it was so nice.
It's
and it was a
satisfying,
nice,
you know.
had a very satisfying trigger. But like, yeah, those are survived because those are still going and being hurled around the room when you play Skies Arcadia 10 years on and realize that, oh my god, modern games have made us so soft, have made us so
Okay.
soft.
Joey, if you want games that feel old and impossibly hard, then you should play Super Meat Boy or
Oh, yeah.
Super Time Force or
Those are controller throwing games.
Oh.
Super Meat Boy. You,
Yeah. Gosh, didn't you break a controller? I know. A couple
no,
people
my
that-
father broke a controller.
on Super Meat Boy.
Not on Super Meat Boy, on Sega Genesis. We were playing NHL 94 or something. In fact, I think I have it. NHL 96, I lied.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh, that was a fine vintage, good sir.
But
Fine year
he's like,
of NHL gaming.
he like snaps the controller when he loses. And then we're like, whoa! And he's like, fucking C button didn't work.
Whoa.
I've never broken a controller, but I've thrown a controller against the couch on Super Meat Boy.
I have thrown a controller a couple of times. Nick put a hole in a wall with a controller.
Oh my god. Joey, have you ever broke a controller in rage or thrown a controller?
Just all I've done is punch the cushion really hard. That's it. Like,
Nick's broken his hand once, hitting the floor with his fist.
oh,
Wow.
shit, that's amazing. Oh.
Nick had roid rage back in his teenage years.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, so Joey, do not play Super Meat Boy. Because
No, you should
Do you
play it. It's only $5. It's worth a controller throw.
yeah, buy another
Listen to me.
controller as a backup.
Send over any free Xbox controllers you have lying around, and I'll definitely be throwing them like "Whatcha!" every.
So it's like Ninja Stars, just like
after every go, I just destroy a controller and reach for another one. It's like this game annoys me. another controller.
Actually, I think the strongest controller I've ever used would be a 360 controller, or maybe the One, but I think the 360 probably beats it. PlayStation and Wii controllers just seem like they would blow to pieces when they hit a wall. I have thrown my controller against the ground, and it has continued to work perfectly fine.
So I'm glad that games nowadays do not make me want to throw my controller.
I think that it's different because I've got really frustrated. I like it when it's a proper challenge. Like again, I don't mean this to be a really old school example, but just right now I can't access any more memories of games. So I think of Perfect Dark, okay, because you're mentioning it before. Brilliant, hard, difficult, and yes, frustrating. But I never threw my controller because I was like, that's fair. Yeah, I sucked. I died. I'm gonna keep doing this. Whereas I hate Uncharted. I did not like Uncharted 3 because it made you die a fuck ton of times just because of its horrible, shooty. Oh god! You
felt like it wasn't fair.
I rage quitted so much, and did so many things, and just got so pissed off. And the difference was like it's just not fair. I love it being hard, but I don't like it when it's like what the fuck. Anyway,
The one thing I will say about Wolfenstein is it's fun when you're in like some of the tunnels because you actually have to use like a military tactic. You're gonna have to hide, throw the grenade at them, flush them from cover, and then try to gun them down, and kind of, or like throw a grenade to move out of being stuck. You know, you can lean around a corner and pitch a grenade down the hallway. But
yeah.
Sometimes they're so stupid, and sometimes they're too smart. It's so annoying. Like sometimes you're like, oh, they're all dumb. You shoot the guy in the back of the head, and nobody sees him, and it's a silenced pistol. He just falls down, and all of a sudden, everybody knows you're there. But other times, you'll shoot a guy right in front of somebody, and they'll fall over,
I mean,
and the guy won't even react. You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean that's why I hate I mean some people love it, but I hate it on Halo on Legendary mode. It's like people throw grenades and they have like auto aim for your face. It's like I mean there's and it's like
oh my god.
it's not fun.
Well,
But it
that's not
sucks. I mean,
fair.
that's the
I
thing,
hate
you know?
that.
Yeah, it just seems like it's not fair. But some people like the challenge, you know, that they've completed something like that.
I don't. I like it when it's fair and not like completely
Yeah.
screwed.
bullshit. Yeah.
I think it's like a lot of it also. There's difficulty when they program it. Again, back to this whole thing of when are we going to get next gen? Watch Dogs is not next gen. Fair enough, but it's sort of wearing thin. The whole like basic AI, basic collision, no collision damage, for example, on cars. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, like you're saying there, Josh, about throwing stuff down, AI. That to me, the graphics aren't the issue. It's going to be proper programming. You know, really a lot of work and research and a ton of programming time have to go into making amazing games where you silence kill someone and no one reacts, and there's not a glitch where the whole room goes it's
Bananas.
Like yeah, or it's like that. It's like that. This is actually quite apt. It's like that. Remember that Hitler gopher? You know the one which goes like, and like
Yeah.
Dramatic gopher.
Yeah.
dramatic gopher. It's like that. Yeah, like the whole room does dramatic gopher to you, and then it's like, oh fuck. It's like that. If that can be avoided, that's the next gen. It's like,
See, that's what I think is a problem. Is a lot of games, and I hope this isn't what Watch Dogs did. Is like Far Cry 2 had this problem. You could not be sneaky. Even if you were in the jungle and hiding behind something, they knew exactly where you were, and they'd throw grenades and shit at you.
Yeah.
And you could have like the silent dart gun and hit somebody, and they're all like, "He's up there in the mountains." Exactly. You're like, it's a dart gun. How did they even fucking hear or see it? This doesn't make sense. Because you got like a 12 times scope. You're like a mile away.
I think Dishonored did a really good job of that. Did you guys ever play Dishonored?
No, sadly I have not. There's too many games in the world.
Yeah, I beat this game, and I thought it was really interesting in that you could go through the entire game of either like running gun shooting or like silent kill, and there would be a scene like you had to let's say like kill this person or talk with this person, and it was interesting because like let's say that there was a party scene, and you could have the option of like shooting a dart at them, then dragging them and hiding them, you know, or there was abilities that would make you like dispose of bodies instantly, you know, so like they wouldn't, so people couldn't find them, you know, or you could go in there and run a gun, and then like if you do that with a loud weapon, people notice you. So I thought that was kind of cool, is that like they spent a lot of time on that AI, you know, like that was a big factor of that game.
I think that's the thing. Like I think the developers or the publisher or whatever were paid to use libraries that NVIDIA provided for their physics and for the graphics, and equally for, I think this happens all the time. I mean, if you do software development, you do find that you end up using pieces of code or libraries and stuff from either within the company or within the publisher. Because they have the rights to all the code, they can copy it. So that's why you'll see the sort of
the same
AI,
animation,
same animation, the same detection ratio, the same detection threshold, all that. It's just the same because it's copied from other stuff, and that's why, you know, I think that's what happened with Watch Dogs, and I was just like, oh, that's disappointing. I hope that Arkham City, what's that called, Arkham Knight, you know, because it's
new one
next,
coming out,
it's next gen only, and I hope that. It's good. I don't want to see any more goddamn ragdoll physics in a Batman game. You know when as soon as someone gets like, they're like this, they're like blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, for
and their legs like twitch.
On stairs, Eli, on stairs, and they always are twitching. They twitch, and it's like, god damn it, like that needs to stop.
Joey, you would appreciate Wolfenstein then. It's so good at detecting where you shoot somebody. Like, if you shoot them in the legs, they'll fall down on the ground, but if they're still alive, they'll like get on one elbow and shoot at you with the other one.
That's cool.
Like, cool. I've only seen that in a couple other games, and I was just so excited because I hate it and like it at the same time. I hate it because I think that dude's dead. I start shooting at the next guy, and then I'm getting shot from the side. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And there's like a pile of dead guys, so I don't see him right away. I'm like, damn it!
That is cool. Like, see, that's a new experience. And these people, I think there's a lot of people who, when you read Reddit too much, you start to get this like you automatically in your head know the path, the flow of all the reactions. You know what I mean? And there's always that
Yeah.
person who comes and goes, "Oh, games are meant to be a simulation anyway." God damn it! We're not talking about simulation. We're just talking about like moving it on. Like you might as well say that about like sprites in on the SNES or Mega Drive. No, games aren't meant to be a simulation. You don't need to be 3D. Yes, we're not talking about simulations. We're talking about taking it to the next level and
Yeah.
more immersive, or in a different way, or just being more realistic, or giving you a better. Actually, Josh, yeah, it's not about being more immersive. It's giving you a better challenge or a better opponent. Someone who's not going to go, "Oh, you shot me in the legs."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It is kind of funny. You can carry like double shotguns, and it's like the auto shotguns, like the drum style. So you can just
Yeah.
like hold the trigger down. It's like a machine gun of death, dude. It's fucking awful. But when
That's awesome.
I was in a submarine, and there was like 20 guys in this hallway. I was just like, it was amazing. But I mean, like those guys, when you hit those guys, if you hit them like in the upper body, dude, they act like a person. They basically fall on the ground. They don't like go flying back up against the wall. They just.
That's good.
Sometimes it's gnarly. Sometimes they'll like lose an arm or a leg if you hit them just right. It's just like, oh god, that's horrible. Or a head.
Keep on fighting without their head.
No, they don't keep it, but I mean like,
He's like, "Oh."
but it's just awesome. I don't know. Everybody's
sounds
like,
like a lot of
man, it's
fun.
just a shooter, and I'm like, yeah, but it's a very well executed shooter.
Yeah.
Why are we complaining?
Josh, that's the reason. That's the reason they feel the need to bloody put in open world stuff. It's just a shooter. What the hell? Like, Watch Dogs should have been not just a shooter, but should have been like the hacky shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, but then we have to throw in open world and not debug it. So then you get all these glitches on YouTube. It's ridiculous. So
See, I feel like open world games are good in Rockstar's hands.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Red Dead Revolver.
Red Dead was awesome.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. I love that game. I could still go back and play it and feel immersed in that world. But that's because they work really hard on AI and all that, and the environment and all that stuff. I feel like that's what's missing from Watch Dogs is that commitment to everything that's attached to an open world game.
But also, yeah, it's like a commitment to the original vision, which was that it's a story about. It's got a really cool story. It's very like person of interest mixed with oh, I don't know. All I think of is the GoldenEye, the little hacky console thing. It's like a complete evolution of that.
Oh
But,
yeah.
But it
Or
should've
like in the
been-
original Perfect
Yeah,
Dark,
yeah, that's
where
right.
you could throw up like the little machine gun thing
Yeah,
that would
that's
like
right.
latch.
And then it
Yeah.
would go boom, and then it was like boom, and like it should have stayed with that, and then it was like, nope, let's work that into a money-making cow because it's going to be DLC. You know, it's going to be DLC then.
Oh, I know. That's the thing about like a big developer, right? Is
Yeah.
That's kind of the way they do it. Like, okay, we have to do cash cow, and it has to be this way to appeal to as many people as possible, which drives me insane. It's what they screwed up on Mass Effect 3. They were like, let's try to get shooter crowd in with the RPG crowd, and then they were like, well, fuck the dialogue.
Well, you said like Dead Space did the same thing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
Dead
like-
Space did the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was my intake of breath. I was like, mustn't say it, mustn't get angry.
This is our soapbox episode. Love it.
I
I just don't know. Like, I hate when games are like, okay, we have to appeal to more than what our audience should be.
Yeah.
But
oh my god, I don't know what Shenmue 3 is going to be like in this era of, I don't know. Actually, the E3 stuff, that's all I know. That's the only tidbit, and then maybe it's bullshit. But do you know what's happening in E3? Do you know what's going to come out? Or-
No,
I have no idea.
it's-
I'm excited.
taking a guess, Sony will talk about the Order 1889 or whatever.
That looks cool. Have you seen any of the stuff on that?
Oh yeah, it looks awesome, but it got delayed, fortunately. But
Yeah, I saw that too.
it's like a 1800s kind of. I don't know.
It's like mystical powers kind of thing, super steampunky from
Mystery.
Oh.
1886. Yeah, it's like, hey, have you guys seen Penny Dreadful?
No, I haven't watched it.
Okay,
Oh, I
it
watched the
kind of
first
reminds me
episode.
of that.
Yeah.
That show is awesome, by the way. So if you haven't seen it and you can see it, you should watch it. But,
Yeah, it kind of seems like a game version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd expect something on that. They'll show off the new Call of Duty game. They'll show off the new
Yeah.
Battlefield. Battlefield is
Oh,
going to
did-
be cops and robbers now.
Yeah, I know. I was
What?
actually kind of excited about
What?
that just because it's such
Yeah.
a break.
So instead of Battlefield has gone to the future. They've gone in the past. Well, now they're doing cops and robbers in present day with like drug money and stuff. It seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
so it's kind of interesting.
Apparently, you
Like
can kind of
Miami?
like choose to be a dick, or you can choose to be good. Like you can choose to be the dirty cop or not. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. And what's also cool is that like the game's gonna be it's not broken up into episodes per se like a Telltale game where it's gonna be you're gonna have to wait, but the game is gonna have episodes in it where it's like gonna end on like kind of like a cliffhanger, and then you can go back and like play previous episodes in different ways with different decisions. So it's kind of interesting.
Wow.
It's interesting, and you know what? I don't mind this. A lot of people will bitch about it, but I think games should always try to evolve and try something. It drives me nuts. It's the same like argument like everybody gets into. Sorry to bring up anything political, but like, oh my God, you're changing the healthcare system and it's gonna be Nazis, and I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather do something than nothing. You know what I mean? Like, try something. If it doesn't work, then that's too bad. And Battlefield can afford that. Like EA can afford that at this point.
To try
You know,
and
they're
experiment for a year and see how that.
yeah, exactly. If it doesn't
Goes
work,
in.
they have another game coming out next year. So
Well, yeah, it does seem like a series. I mean, there's so many Battlefields now. My God.
Yeah, it's yearly, right?
it's every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
I think they might do it every year now that they've got another studio working on it. I believe so.
Oh my gosh.
Well, hopefully not, because it hasn't worked out for Call of Duty.
Yeah. No.
Well, I'm pretty excited because I got tickets to go see the PlayStation E3 presentation at a movie
What?
theater, which was kind of
At a movie theater. Okay, I
Yeah,
thought you were getting flown there. I'm
not
like,
there,
you
not
son
there,
of a
no,
bitch.
No, sorry, no. So across the country, they're doing you can go see their conference, their presentation live in movie theaters. They're gonna be doing like prizes and giveaways and stuff. And
What?
yeah, I got tickets. I was really lucky because tickets sold. Well, they were free actually, which is kind of cool. But tickets ran out like a few minutes after I got mine. I had another friend that was trying to get them and they weren't able to. So I was like, sucks.
You're like, what
Pretty
up,
fun.
but
Yeah.
That is pretty damn amazing. When's that? When we have.
It's gonna be their live. When is their presentation? June
9th?
9th? That sounds about right.
Yeah, something like that. I can't
It's gonna
remember.
be a big news week. Like Apple's gonna be doing their big conference tomorrow.
Ugh. I don't really
Hey,
care. I
hey.
fucking hate Apple.
Do you know what? I know. Do you know what? It's so weird. Someone from my work is flying to see that tomorrow. It's ridiculous.
You should punch him in
Going
his dumb
to go be in
face.
person?
That's what you should
Yes.
do.
To be there for a week, and it's ridiculous.
I
And it's
hate
such a
Well,
big
it's not
Apple.
gonna give away free stuff. So
Ugh. Yeah.
but
I know
but-
he's gonna get
wow.
something.
Yeah, like tickets for that go out like crazy. But wow, that's pretty nuts.
I hate them.
Oh.
I don't care what
I know
anybody
you do,
says.
because you guys
They're
have
awful
Android
people.
phones, but I'm just gonna.
I'm not even
Yeah.
talking about my
I'm
phone.
part-
I'm just talking
I'm
about
part of
they're
the Apple
evil.
master race. No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. They're the Nazis, damn it.
I know you're the Nazi.
And I'm the
of tech
resistance.
world.
Well, on that note, guys, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff to talk about next week, and there's gonna be a lot of cool announcements.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Should be fun. We can get back on our soapbox and talk about our thoughts on the whole Apple announcements, maybe some of the E3 game news.
John will be on the I like Apple side, and I will be on the I
Yes.
fucking hate them side.
I will mediate, and I'll be wonderful. Actually, and then, we hopefully will play Wolf Among Us, and that'll be awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Give
Yes.
us a
And
program,
I
Kevin.
will. I already have Watch Dogs, so maybe I'll be able to shed a little more light
Oh,
on that
yeah.
situation.
Yeah, that'll be good. We'll revisit this discussion then.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'm Bendito John. It's your turn.
No name
I don't
Josh.
know. I never do this right.
I thought Joey was gonna talk because he leaned forward, and then I was like, oh, he's gonna say it first, and then he leaned back. I was like, Now do I say it?
It's like,
Yeah.
all right, let's restart. I'm Bandito John.
No name Josh.
Am I Judy?
Saying
Signing off.
goodbye.
But